Thousands of people around the world are enjoying better health today because of the difference Omega XL has made in their lives. But to understand how Omega XL came to be, we must first go back in history to a place of geographic isolation and pristine clear water. A place where there is no agriculture, commercial or residential development, no unwanted runoff or contaminants entering these pristine clear waters. A place in New Zealand called the Marlborough Sound, home to the Perna canaliculus, or as we know it, the green-lipped mussel. For hundreds of years, green-lipped mussels have been eaten by the indigenous Maori people of New Zealand, who are well known to have a very low incidence of joint pain and swelling. This phenomenon piqued the interest of researchers in the United Kingdom, Australia, Austria, and Japan, who all became amazed at the study results of the green-lipped mussel. Through their extensive research, we now have Omega XL, a pure and safe omega-3 oil that helps to reduce inflammation associated with stiffness, bronchial tightness, and aches and joint pain. Omega XL is a one-of-a-kind, unique, and powerful oil extract that delivers the ultimate in great health and well-being. So, how does a mussel that starts so small become the oil of Omega XL? Mr. Ken Mears, CEO and founder of Great Health Works, traveled all the way to New Zealand to talk to Mr. Philip Wilson, general manager of the company's manufacturing partner, about the pristine waters and the making of Omega XL.
Quality control is the most important thing, and it starts from the water quality. And that gets tested each week by government authorities. We stick to the rules and we go past those rules for quality. This is the safest place in the world to grow green-lipped mussels.
I don't see any homes, any buildings, any manufacturing, nothing. There's no human beings here. But when you still have rain and water runoff, who knows what's really in these wonderful forests around here? What happens right after a storm? Do you keep farming?
No, we have to stop harvesting. We keep farming, but we can't harvest for processing.
Farming and harvesting, I think what you're saying is the mussels stay in the water, even during rain.
Yes.
That's called the farming part.
Yes.
But the harvesting part is when you take them out of the water.
Yes.
And that you can't do until the waters have been validated,
yes,
pristine and pure.
So how do these mussels grow? The mussels attach themselves to long ropes of 120 meters extending from floating buoys. The whole process begins when a mussel spawn known as spat is collected. The tiny speck is gathered from seaweed in the wild.
I see you've been holding a rope-like item in your hand.
Yes.
What is that?
This is the start of Omega XL. It's the babies. It's where the green-lipped mussel starts. And it's actually come a long way. It's come from the top of the North Island.
As it grows into a juvenile mussel, it is reseeded twice to give it more time to grow. Reseeding involves stripping the mussels from the line where they grow and reseeding them again in a biodegradable mesh stocking, which disintegrates naturally in a few weeks' time. After about 18 months, they reach a length of about 4 inches, which is considered the ideal size for harvesting. The New Zealand Ministry of Fisheries licenses and controls all mussel farming operations to assure safety to humans.
So there's a great deal of time and tender loving care
yes,
that goes through this process
yes,
to take the mussel,
yes,
to go into the harvesting, or through the harvesting process
yes,
of making Omega XL.
yes,
Farming,
and
growing, and then harvesting.
And all natural.
And all natural.
The next step is to pass the line on which the mussels are attached through a stripping machine on the harvesting barge. The mussels are collected in large, heavy-duty bags, which each can hold up to a ton of weight in wet mussels. The huge bags are quickly brought to shore and placed into refrigerator trucks for the 2-hour trip to the processing plant in Nelson. The processing plant is a modern facility, which became operational in the spring of 1999. Once inside the plant, the mussels are immediately placed into a crusher, which crushes the shells and the meat. If any heat is applied at this point, it will destroy the marine lipids. It is for this reason that steamed or cooked mussels have no active marine lipids. The mussel meat and shells are then passed through the centrifuge machines, which separate the meat from the shells into a slurry. The processing plant applies to the muscle meat a particular organic ingredient under a patented muscle stabilization process. This is necessary to preserve marine lipids and prevent oxidation after freeze drying. The next step is to load the muscle meat into trays and immediately place them in a large freeze-dry unit. Here, the muscle meat is exposed to a complete vacuum and freezing temperatures. The resulting product is freeze-dried, stabilized muscle powder. Mr. Stack explains why he takes out the water during the freezing process.
The reason we take the water out is to make the product stable. If there's too much water in the product, we get a whole lot of micro issues, bacteria and yeasts in the product. So it's much better for the product to be dry. It also makes it shelf stable over time. So it allows the end consumer to have a product that is consumable over a period of time.
The small biscuit format is then ground into a fine powder, which is then stored at room temperature and then packed into nitrogen-filled sealed foil bags to prevent oxidation. From this point, the freeze-dried stabilized powder is shipped in sealed foil bags to the extraction processor located outside of Nelson. Mr. Ken Mears had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Richard Patrick Daniel.
We take the powder and we subject it to a very high-tech process. It's called supercritical fluid extraction, and we use a very benign compound, carbon dioxide, as a solvent, and that is used to gently dissolve out the oils from the powder, and then that washes them out of the powder, and then we collect them and the carbon dioxide is removed. So that all we collect is the part of the muscle powder that's useful from a therapeutic point of view.
This method is under a patent license and used as a supercritical fluid extraction process. Liquefied carbon dioxide is used to extract the muscle's marine lipids. This supercritical fluid extraction process is key to extracting Omega XL.
And the science is quite clear that the oil from these muscles in this region is showing this much superior property of controlling inflammation. Omega-3s, which are present in Omega XL, are widely accepted now to be very effective at reducing inflammation. There's some property in the green shell muscle omega-3, or maybe some other dimension of that oil, which seems to make it much, much more effective than regular omega-3. So taking the Omega XL down-regulates and reduces inflammation, just like other fish oil products do, but it does a much better job.
The next step is to ship Omega XL in drums to a Great Healthworks bottling facility. Omega XL soft gel packaging takes place in an FDA-approved and certified good manufacturing practice facility. In a variety of bottle size options to ensure consumer safety, Omega XL has been exposed to critical review by many research institutions worldwide and is proven to have significant anti-inflammatory activity by inhibiting leukotriene synthesis. So now, when you take Omega XL every day, you'll know how these little golden soft gel capsules with their proven anti-inflammatory activity got to your front door.
The science says that it's much, much more effective, so you could call it the Rolls-Royce of omega-3s.
Omega XL from Great Healthworks, promoting wellness through science and nature. Thanks for watching.